Hi everyone and welcome back to Ochigurumi. So today is Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. It's almost 6 o'clock right now and today is finally my day off of work. I've been working a lot lately, so I have not had as much time as I would like to crochet. So I was like, okay, today's my day off. I'm going to sit down and actually try to crochet something. And what I decided to go with is I bought this yarn a really long time ago off of AliExpress. I have like 6 skeins of it to use up because I wanted to crochet a desk mat inspired by that one scene in Howl's Moving Castle. And I kept procrastinating on the project. I don't know why, I just never got around to it. But today is the day. We are going to start it. Will we finish it? I don't know, probably not. But we are going to start it today and hopefully make a little bit of a dent in that project. And I also want to watch One Piece because my friend convinced me to watch One Piece. I was hesitant for a really long time only because there are a lot of episodes. But I started it and I do really like it. So I'm going to try to watch it. I think I left off at around episode 64, I want to say. It's been a while since I watched it, so I'm probably going to have to go back a few episodes and rewatch some stuff. But I'm excited. So that is the project for today. So let's get started.
When I tell you guys that this project was a struggle, so since I didn't really have a game plan going into it, I decided to just start with crocheting the grass and then go from there. This was my first time ever working with fluffy yarn. I would consider myself a decently experienced crocheter, but even I had a hard time using this yarn. Eventually, I got the hang of it, but then I couldn't decide on the shape that I wanted to go with. If I wanted to crochet a rectangle shape or go with a semicircle shape to match my desk. I unraveled this yarn at least 5 or 6 times, and to give it credit, there was minimal shedding. But this is the reality when you're freehanding or creating your own pattern. You will frog your work a lot, but to me, the end result is worth it. And hey, at least I got good use out of my yarn winder. I got so tired of crocheting and frogging this yarn that I didn't pick it up again until October. I was basically starting from scratch, but my previous tries did serve a purpose. I figured out that I would need to start with the blue yarn first to crochet the water and add the green yarn around it afterwards. I cut out and taped wrapping paper to my desk and then sketched out the shape I wanted for the lake. This was honestly such a good idea because it made freehanding the water so much easier than it would have been without it. So as you can see here, we have everything all sketched out and I have a really good idea of where I need to go from here. So I'm just going to set down my crochet supplies, and in a second you'll see that it's actually the background of my iPad because I love it so much. So let's start watching some One Piece like we did last time. You'll probably already know this if you've watched some of my shorts, but I've mostly watched anime subbed since I first started, which would have been back in the 6th grade. The first anime that I ever watched was Mermaid Melody. I don't know how many people are familiar with it, but I thought it was pretty good. People used to post anime like full episodes on YouTube back in the day. It was like the wild, wild west on here. But that's how I first discovered anime, and since then I've always watched subbed. So if you're not super familiar with anime, there's this ongoing debate of subbed versus dubbed. Subbed means with the original Japanese audio and subtitles in your language of choice. Dubbed means the audio is in your preferred language. So in this case, I'm watching the English dub. And like I said, I've been a subtitle girly since the start. But now that I play anime in the background while I'm crocheting, I can't read subtitles at the same time. I wish I could multitask like that, but I'm not at that level yet. So for now, I'm watching most of my anime in the English dub. To me, personally, I don't think it's a big deal. If you watch anime, just watch whichever you prefer. At the end of the day, we're all anime enjoyers. But from someone who used to exclusively watch subbed, I think dubbed is pretty good. Being able to crochet and have it on in the background and make good progress, especially with One Piece since there are over 1,000 episodes, it's so convenient, and I get to enjoy 2 of my favorite things, anime and crochet, at the same time. So it's a win for me, but let me know in the comments what your preference is. And if you haven't tried dubbed anime before, I would recommend you give it a shot. It took me the entire Alabasta arc, but the blue part is done. I just need to crochet a border around it so it's easier when I'm adding the green, but this is how it turned out. I'm super happy with it. Okay, so I'm officially coming back to this project again. I did take a really long break. Today is, I think it's the 17th? Yeah, today's November 17th, so it's been like a month since I last touched this project. But I'm ready to get back to it. I'm gonna start adding the green yarn. I'm not gonna cut off the blue yarn yet, but I'm gonna start working the green yarn. I'm gonna leave it laid out flat like this and kind of like work the rows like this way so that I get the shape right. But I'm very excited. I'm not gonna watch any One Piece today. I'm gonna listen to some podcasts that I've been meaning to listen to, but let's go. Once I got the water out of the way, my next hurdle was crocheting the grass. But honestly, all those previous attempts of making the desk mat really helped me out. I became pretty familiar with the yarn. I knew what hook size to use. You'll see I'm using a 9mm crochet hook or M/N size hook, how much tension to use, how to feel for the stitches, etc. So the way I worked this project up, I would crochet with the super huge hook right up until I got to the edge of the water. Then I would switch back to the 4mm hook so I could crochet into the side of one of the rows, then crochet into the row above that, and then turn and continue crocheting.
Just wanted to give another quick update. So I'm done with this side. I really like how it looks. Now I just have the left side to do, and with that one that's on the yarn spinner, I still have like 4 balls left.
So I was able to get through this project without having to sew the grass and water pieces together, and if you know me, you'll know I will do whatever it takes to avoid sewing because it's probably my least favorite part of crocheting, especially if I have to sew a limb on amigurumi. So I try my best to make most of my projects no-sew. Of course, there are some things that I have to sew on no matter what. If it's a smaller piece, I use a sewing needle and thread, which in my opinion makes it look a lot neater and is a much more enjoyable experience than trying to sew something on with the yarn and a yarn needle. But yeah, that's my potentially unpopular opinion that we should be trying to make everything no-sew or at least low-sew, at least when it comes to amigurumi. So this is how it turned out. I decided to not add the flowers because I liked how it looked without them, but let's move on and look at the final result once I decorated the walls around my desk with some anime themed stuff. So there are a couple of quotes that resonated with me, some Howl's Moving Castle art that I got in an artist alley, some anime keychains, you can see Genshin Impact and Ensemble stars on there too, another piece of Howl's Moving Castle art, plus this Nanami Labubu type thing that I thought was really cute, my GOT7 keychain, and all my other stuff spread out on my desk, and I just love how it turned out. So fast forward a bit to December 12th, and I really wanted to crochet a mini Christmas tree. I don't know if you guys have seen all those memes with All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey playing in the background, and the tree is decorated with the person's fictional or celebrity crush, but I really wanted to make one with Nanami as the ornaments. So I eventually chose this one in the bottom right, which I will have linked in the description in case if you guys want to check it out. I watched all of the Christmas episodes of The Office while I was making it. It's been a while since I watched The Office, so I've forgotten a lot of it, but it was nice to rewatch and get into the Christmas spirit. It actually took quite a while to crochet this little tree. I literally got through all the episodes just before I finished it, but I think it looks super adorable as a decoration for my desk. I had this little bow and bell saved, probably from some chocolate, and I was debating if I would put it in the middle or at the top of the tree. I ended up putting it at the top instead of a star. Then it was time to cut out all the little pictures of Nanami that I got from Pinterest. My original plan was to string all the pictures onto this metallic thread that I had, but it was taking way too long to do that. So I just ended up gluing everything to the tree. I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I still have it on my desk even though it's after Christmas. Last but not least, I just wanted to give you guys a quick tour of my Anbernic RG cubexx. I was looking into something that I could use to emulate retro games. My first step into gaming was the Nintendo DS. I also had a Wii and an Xbox 360, but other than that, I hadn't played games from other consoles before. I did a bit of research and I bought an R36S originally, which honestly was really great. The only thing is that it wasn't super ergonomic, but you can buy a grip for it, which makes it a lot more comfortable. I ended up giving it to my sister, so I was looking for another console to buy for myself. I really love the look of the RG cubexx. As you can see, the rainbow lights are really aesthetic and it's overall more ergonomic. It's a bit pricier, but I decided to get it. The only complaint that I have is that before I replaced the SD card, it gave me a lot of issues. Sometimes it wouldn't turn on and get stuck at the loading screen, and then one time it didn't turn off after I had unplugged it from charging and I threw it in my backpack. After that happened, it fried the SD card even more and all the games were completely lost. I will say after I replaced the micro SD card, I've had no problems at all, so that is literally my only complaint. With the R36S, I still have the factory SD card in it, which honestly you're supposed to replace anyways, but that is the only negative thing I have to say about my initial experience with my RG cubexx. If you like the form factor of it and you don't mind having to replace the SD card, then I recommend it. In terms of what I play on here, I was pleasantly surprised by how many fun games the Super Nintendo has. I love playing EVO Search for Eden. I got stuck at one point. When I was filming this, I was at chapter 3, Age of the Dinosaurs, but I figured it out. Earthbound, I'd heard of it, but I hadn't played it before. I am obsessed with it, and it's what I mainly play on here. And I'll show you guys a little bit of where I'm at in the game later on. I have Illusion of Gaia and Chrono Trigger as favorites, but I haven't actually played either of them yet, but I've heard good things. Ghouls and Ghosts is fun, but I find it a little bit difficult. Paying is tricky but fun. I find it a lot easier than Ghouls and Ghosts though. I don't know why I struggle so much with that game. I have a couple more saved here that I haven't tried, but they looked fun. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 is also so much fun. I love this one too. I played a lot on here as well. Then we have Bloons, which is such a classic. I swear I remember playing it on one of those free game websites back in elementary school. Super nostalgic and fun. And then again here at the end, another game that looked fun, but I haven't tried yet. I'll show you guys a bit of Earthbound just so that you can see where I'm at. The overall quality of the screen is pretty good in my opinion. The RG cubexx uses RetroArch as the front end for the emulators, and it runs really well. I thought it would be funny to name my character Bozo, but anyways, my last save point was Saturn Valley, and look at how cute these little guys are. Mr. Saturn is what I think they're called, but I really want to crochet one of them. So I'm here right now, but I think I'll have to go back because my storage is full and I didn't bring any money with me. But yeah, that's a little tour of the games I have on here. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing more of my console collection. It's mostly Nintendo DS to be honest, but they're my favorite console. So that is the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck around to the end, leave a comment with a Saturn emoji to let me know that you watched the whole thing. I really appreciate your support so much. It's so crazy to me that I finally passed 1,000 subscribers and I am so grateful. Thank you again. Happy holidays and happy new year. Thanks for watching Ochigurumi and I'll see you in the next video.